All right, here we go. I should be live, I believe. Hey guys. Let me just get set up real quick. Here it is. Okay. Okay, this is starting to get weird, I guess. But here it goes. All right, Discord just sent a notification. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up? Hello, what's up? Hi. Hey, what's up, Ty? What's up, man? The Verge. Oh, yeah, a lot of you guys are familiar with this, huh? Okay, so yeah, let me just go into. Let's just go what I'm gonna be doing right now. So I'm going to be breaking down. So I'm gonna be building my first PC in a couple days, like October 1st probably, because I'm gonna get my power supply tomorrow, and I'm gonna get my graphics card today. So I should be building my PC on either tomorrow or Friday. So ahead of this, I'm going to be reacting to the worst PC guide of all, the worst PC build of all time, which was by The Verge, and yeah, this should be fun. They are created thermal paste. Exactly. Exactly. Alright, so I'm going to be breaking down why some of these are bad and why this is kind of just overall just the worst PC build of all time. So this should be fun. Hold on a second. One more thing. Just gotta let my people in the community tab. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna begin the video now, and let's get into this, I guess. And again, I'm gonna be testing myself, and I'm going to point out everything that's wrong here, and if I miss anything, that's fine. This is basically like a test to see how much I've learned about PC building overall, and let's see if I can break it down and stuff like that. And if you guys aren't satisfied with my answers, you can knock down a point. This is just me, again, testing myself. Alright, so here we go.
So a few years ago, TC, or Managing Editor, built a gaming desktop, but it's kind of out of date, and it's definitely not going to hold up for Battlefield 5. So let's build a new one.
Alright, this is not unrelated to the build, but who would want to play Battlefield 5? That's just, I don't know, that game was bad when it came out.
You can build a gaming desktop for around $1,000, but I want to go all out, so I spent around $2,000. PC like this is going to be able to play...
This is not... Okay, so usually, yes, you would probably spend $1,000, but with a PC build, the announcement is not up on Discord. It's so neither will the PC. So this you can even make it for less. Like you can probably do it for you could probably build a PC for $600 sometimes. It just depends on what you need and what you want your PC to do. Like if it's not if you want something a little more simple, not to go over crazy gaming, you could probably get it for around $600, just depending on what parts you buy and stuff like that. So this is not necessarily fully accurate, but it is usually around $1,000.
In most games at all tier settings.
And it's also not the most egregious part of information that's kind of presented here, but it's about to get worse.
So, what do you need to build a desktop? Well, of course, first you need a table.
Okay, so this is probably where the tutorial kind of gets a little bit stupid. Yes, it's very obvious you're going to need a table. It's kind of common sense, actually. Because why would you build something, because, come on. I believe my brother maybe one time built his on the floor, I believe, but that was 14 years ago when he built his first PC when he was 14. It's just to me, it just feels like common bit of information that you should probably use a table to build a PC. I don't know.
Preferably not metal. If it's gonna be metal, have an anti-static working surface layered on top of it. A thermal.
There's some guy I think he called a nerd on a budget he did for $100. I believe that.
Paste applicator, an Allen wrench, some tweezers to tighten up the wires, a Swiss Army knife which hopefully has a Phillips head screwdriver in it.
Okay, so let's break down these tools. Thermal paste spreader or whatever this thing is, or thermal paste applicator, you do not need this. The only thing you need is a screwdriver. Second thing, Allen wrench is out of the question as well. My brother has never built a PC using an Allen wrench, and I'm not building one with an Allen wrench either. And no one really builds a PC with an Allen wrench. Third of all, he called zip ties tweezers. What? Why do you need an Allen wrench? I don't know. Like, apparently maybe to fit the CPU in a socket or something like that, but no, it will always fit. That's not what's going to happen. You don't need to jam something in there. All the parts should fit inside the motherboard and stuff like that. And also, last thing, a Swiss Army knife that hopefully has a Phillips screwdriver. I know, Kayla, it's stupid. Like, why would you not get an actual Phillips screwdriver and get a Swiss Army knife that hopefully has a Phillips head screwdriver? You have any idea how stupid that sounds?
And last but not least, an anti.
Hey, what's up, Sage? I haven't been on stream in a while. School is really timing soon. That's interesting. If it doesn't fit, it broke. Or like the parts aren't compatible or something like that. It's so stupid, though.
Static bracelet, which is to protect you and the parts.
That's not an anti-sag bracelet, by the way. Usually anti-sag bracelets, let me show you this. They're usually wired. So let me show you a picture. Anti-static. So let me just like show you this. Anti-sag bracelet. Usually it's fine to like wear these if you are kind of worried about, you know, putting static electricity through the parts and stuff like that. You worry about like static electricity and stuff like that. But these are usually wired. This is what they look like. Does this look like an anti-sag bracelet to you?
These are the parts.
Does this look like an anti-sag? This looks like a rubber bracelet that I got when I was in Baltimore or something like that. It's like, that's not an anti-sag bracelet. Yeah, exactly. Like, don't touch, like, yeah, it's just like so weird. Like, just
parts you're going to need, but more importantly, before we get there, we need to understand what these parts are doing and how they interact with one another. To better understand the parts that make up a desktop, let's try to understand them individually. The processor is like the computer's brain.
This might be like the only time you might be somewhat correct on something.
A base of calculation.
This is another one of those few times he's actually breaking down something pretty decently, but in terms of like the actual PC process, it's nah.
That control everything the computer does. The motherboard is like the foundation, serving as a main structure for all other parts to be added to. It also allows the other parts to communicate with one another, which also makes it kind of like a nervous system. Graphics cards are responsible for rendering and processing visuals into what you see on screen. Our PC's power supply is of course channeling electricity, in that it adjusts and provides the right amount of energy to keep it running.
So like putting some in perspective, the power supply that I have like is like 650 watts, which I think is definitely enough because the whole thing runs like 329 watts of power and it's like 80 plus. Like another note you want for power supplies is always have them at least 80 plus bronze, because anything lower than that or something like that, or anything that does not say something like 80 plus bronze, gold, platinum or something like that, it's a pretty cheap power supply and it will probably short circuit, and because it's like so cheaper parts, and you're probably gonna either replace that power supply and get a new one because, you know, it breaks down and stuff like that, or it ruins your entire system.
Last but not least, RAM. Then first figure out what you want to use it. Good examples of short-term and long-term memory, respectively.
Right.
If you want to better understand what kind of computer to build, then first figure out what you want to use it for. A gamer might care more about a graphics card than, say, a video editor.
That CPU's a little bit small, I would say. That CPU's a little bit small. Like, you can have, like, a decent combination of, like, good CPU and graphics card combination.
Who might want extra RAM to assist with editing large...
This is wrong. CPUs should be bigger because, like, here's what is, like, editors will care about RAM and stuff like that, but usually you want to have a very high core CPU for editing purposes, like, you know, faster render time and stuff like that. But, like, and also even graphics cards in a way, because, like, having, like, high enough graphics cards can, like, allow for, like, 4K rendering and stuff like that. So, let me just, like, usually you have to, like, look at system requirements and something like that. So, like, let me just, like, show you some Adobe Premiere requirements. Like, usually they have, like, usually there's, like, Windows 10. They usually also have, like, 8 gigabytes of RAM. They go with, like, they have, like, for that, so RAM is important, but you also want to have a very high frame CPU. So, and also, so, it's so weird that you would kind of make the CPU small like that. Are you going to do a stream when you build your PC? I don't know if I could do that. Because I'm gonna be busy doing my live show, but I don't know. I could try, but I don't have a but I don't want to like reveal my face and stuff like that.
Files. If you're building a budget build for video streaming, say under $1,000, you want to focus on parts.
That's a little small for some of these. Like, what?
Like a Core i5 or Core i3 processor that require less energy. They'll be less.
Okay. This is just weird.
Less powerful, but then you'll be able to scale back the cost of several other parts.
Yeah, and yet they're like so small.
If you need help choosing the right parts for your build, there are sites like PCPartPicker.com that help show presets for which parts fit together.
100%. This is how I like got all of my parts together. PC Part Picker is so good. There's like it's literally just like so good in many ways. Like this is how you can like build your parts and stuff like that. Usually you can get like don't pay attention to this. This is like you can like pick out stuff like a CPU and just like have like all the compatibility just like right there and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting in my it's pretty nice actually. It's really nice actually. Actually correct. Yeah, it's more that's literally so you do want to actually go into like a PC part picker, but though like the graphs that he was using were just like kind of way too small for certain things.
Which sort of part conflicts you might have, and where to find deals on new parts. We have a lot of boxes and a lot of PC parts, so it's best you unbox them.
Yeesh, the boxes are getting destroyed. Why?
Isolate the parts that you really need, place items into the case, and make sure
Uh-oh. This is a no-no, but that's going to come a bit later.
That they all fit, and then start working. And now we're really going to start building by adding the motherboard in. Some notes about installing motherboards, they're really delicate. You should be really careful with them.
Let's see your parts list after the vid. Okay, sure. I can show you that.
And screw in with confidence, but also don't screw in too hard, otherwise you could crack the board. I chose
screw in with confidence, otherwise. Oh, really? Crack the motherboard, huh? Yeah, those things are not necessarily going to crack as much as you think.
Asus's Z370 motherboard.
Asus? I mean, Asus Z is just like weird.
For two main reasons.
Usually, for a long time, I've like said Asus or something like that. Or I've never heard like someone say Asus or something.
One, it has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and also it has support for NVMe SSDs, meaning you can get really fast SSDs that are really easy to install. Pay close attention to the brace that goes at the back of the computer.
This is not a brace. This is an I/O shield. Again, the problem here that's here right now is that, you know, it might sound hard. This is from a very reputable journalistic site that literally released this and literally was about to have some of their users build essentially bombs. I'm not joking when I say this. This is why this is the worst PC build of all time. But this is called an I/O shield. I don't understand why you wouldn't understand the parts that are, you know, that are there. So, or like if you're like this nerd and stuff like that and you're trying to build this guide, why are you not pronouncing some of these parts correctly?
You have to make sure that you really hammer it in, because there's no
also don't hammer it in
screw. It really just has to go outside of the case and clasp onto the frame. And this is very important because otherwise you can't align the motherboard correctly with the holes. We're just going to start installing all
Sometimes you can, but
8 screws. So next we're going to install the RAM on the motherboard. I chose Corsair's 16GB Vengeance LED RAM for two main reasons. One, it has LEDs and we do like lights in our gaming desktop.
No, lights are not that important. Like, so much stuff is like LEDs. Like, also, it's like cheaper to like actually, you know, have like lower cost RAM. I wouldn't necessarily recommend someone buy RAM just because it's like LEDs. If they want to, that's fine, but like,
Stops. Secondly, it's pretty fast RAM. It's 2,666 megahertz, I believe.
That's not fast RAM. I'm just being on. Yeah, I know, Kayla. I know. It's bad, isn't it? It's bad. 2,666 megahertz for perspective on DDR4. That's not fast at all. That is really not fast RAM at all. Push in the corner. But, like, this is the thing. Like, 2666 megahertz. For perspective, my PC has, like, 3200 megahertz, and, like, I could upgrade that to, like, 3600, which I believe is the fastest, I believe. Or, like, but usually for, like, DDR4, 3600 megahertz is really fast. 2606 megahertz for DDR4 is not that fast at all. If you were talking about DDR3, that would be pretty fast, but not DDR4.
So it's pretty fast, and this motherboard supports that speed, which is most important.
Isn't 3200 the base? I don't know if it was at the time when this was made, because it was like in 2018. But there are definitely faster RAMs than like 2606 megahertz. But
open the slots first, and just aligning the stick with the
have your chewy. Here, have your bone.
Middle of the strip, not with the end, and just
right.
lining that up
That's
with
something
the
that's
logo.
gonna happen.
So once you hear that solid clasp and
It's a click. It's a click. It's a click.
you don't see the gold connectors on the side anymore, that's when you know the RAM is
It's a
in.
click.
Step 3.
Hey guys, are you noticing something here? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He installed the memory incorrectly. So alright, so like he installed the memory incorrectly. See these two slots? These two sticks with RAM right now. I'm gonna like see if I can like drag it here. Or actually let me just like zoom in. Hey, be nice, Kayla. Be nice. Here you go. Here you go. There you go. Let's see. Alright, so let me just like zoom in and a lot. Let's see. Okay. Where did I go? These are two incorrectly installed RAM slots. Those like, so, hey, be nice. Okay. So like the RAM slots. You want a treat? Alright, so usually when you have these RAM slots, you want to space them out, like into like certain DIMM slots, or into like a certain slot. So when you put them side by side, you lose something called dual channel, and you kind of want that because if you want your system to read the full gigabytes of RAM of memory that you have, like for example, I have like 32 gigabytes of RAM, while this guy has 16. This thing's only gonna read 8 gigabytes. We can't see the RAM. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just. All right, I think you can see it now. See right there. Over my cursor. I'm pointing it right here, and I'm like scrolling towards it. I'm literally like showing you. So when you're trying. So again, that's things. So like you lose like a dual channel support, and the only thing you have is like again, I would only be able to like if I did this, I would literally only have like my system only reads 16 gigabytes, while his would read only 8 gigs, which you definitely do not want. Slots 2 or 4 and 1 and 3. Yeah, exactly. Usually.
We're going to install the hard drive, or in this case, the NVMe SSD. I chose this format of solid-state drive so that I could input it into the motherboard without having to worry about extra wires or putting it in a separate part of the case and just getting really messy. This is from Kingston, and it's 480 gigabytes, so it's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not a high SSD. My SSD, for example, is like 1 TB, and usually, also this guy is literally like installing everything into the case. I didn't point this out, but like this guy is literally just like putting the motherboard into the case first, and not instead of like installing everything onto the motherboard and then putting it in the case, because that's usually just what you do. And I don't think he's putting the CPU first, which is kind of ridiculous. I just don't know what this guy's doing. I forgot to like mention that at all, but like usually you would probably want to put the CPU in, if you're like working with a motherboard and stuff like that. Usually you would want to probably put the CPU in first, since you know that's kind of important. $480 GB. This is like, he said like 480 GB. Mine's like a terabyte. Let me just like show you guys.
Or putting it in a separate part of the case and just getting really messy. This is from Kingston, and it's 480 GB. So
Yep, 480 GB. Literally not, bro. Like, bro, this is just like, this is just not great. Aw, you like your little chewy, don't ya? Aw, I gotcha. Okay, so like when it comes down to this build though, it's kind of like very weird. Dog is.
it's not a lot, but you can always upgrade this and swap it out, and it's only held down by one screw and the latch, so it's really simple and really...
Okay, so I think he's trying to screw this thing directly. Usually you would probably put a standoff, like one of the standoffs like up, and then like it would just like be a lot easier. But like I believe this dude's trying to like screw the SSD into the motherboard, which you probably really should not do at all.
really straightforward. Speed for gaming is important when it comes to a hard drive. You want files to write quickly and you want games to load quickly, so that's why it's best if you use an SSD. Okay, so step 4, we're going to install the graphics card. I chose PNY's GTX 1080, which is overclocked.
Why PNY, really? I remember like there being like I remember like being there like Nvidia. Like, why are you like choosing PNY? They're not bad, but like $2,000 were weird. Even at the time, like, what?
And so it's a pretty easy installation. You're just going to find the gold connectors, and you're going to line this bracket with the back end bracket of your PC case. Now,
calling stuff brackets right now?
Which lane you choose depends entirely on what other parts you're going to put in the system. I'm just going to pick the top one because the...
No, you picked the top. You picked the top one because it has the most bandwidth. You literally picked the top one because it has the most bandwidth. Guess what he's probably going to say?
SSD is at the bottom, and I don't want to cover it. I just think it looks nice.
No. Again, you do it because it has the most bandwidth.
Click down. Take your remaining brackets and just put them in the spots that you haven't used. You don't have to screw these in. They get bolted down by the back end bracket.
Okay, so let me see.
And your GPU's
Why does he
installed.
keep calling stuff brackets?
Power supply time. I chose Corsair's.
Weird, like were we just like now installing this power supply?
850 watt power supply because I need enough headroom.
850 watts? Do you really need that? It's kind. I had like mine at like 7. Ow. Bad. Okay, you okay? There you go. Good girl. Okay. So like, okay. So usually I was like looking at like a couple guys before this. It was like usually you would probably like again, deal with the power supply first and stuff like. Actually, let me just like go.
Room for ray tracing GPUs when they come out, and I don't want to have to upgrade it again. So all you have to do is take the brick and make sure that you align it with these little insulating pads so that the power supply doesn't short circuit.
Those are not insulation pads. Those are called anti-vibration pads. You're not insulating against anything at all.
And come into contact with the rest of the system. So just take it in, slide it in nice and easy until you have a snug fit, and then shift it to the back and make sure it's right up against the frame. Now you just take the required screws and you tighten and screw in. So next step, we're going to install the CPU core. In this case, it's going to go on the top end of the case, and we're just going to...
Wait, what did I just missed something, didn't I?
So next step...
Oh my god, okay. You do not do this. Do not do that.
So the power supply doesn't short circuit.
He put the power supply fan into the case. No,
come into contact
don't
with the
do
rest
that.
Of the system. So just take it in.
That power supply will short circuit and will literally be, and you'll have to replace it a week later. Like, what the heck? Bruh, he's choked airflow. He's choking airflow.
Slide it in nice and easy until you have a snug fit, and then shift it to the back and make sure it's right up against the frame. Now you just take the required screws and you tighten and...
Dude, you don't do that. Dude, you're gonna destroy your PC potential. Bruh, this guy's literally building a bomb right now. Holy shit.
So next step, we're going to install the CPU core. In this case, it's going to go on the top end of the case, and we're just going to have the hose hang out for a little while until we install the processor, which is going to come a little later. Always be sure to try to place it in the system first.
Why didn't you install fans though? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are the fans? Where are the fans? Wouldn't you install that first and then that little heatsink? Like, what?
Have the hose hang out for a little while until we install the processor, which is going to come a little later.
Again, you install that thing first! Like, what are you doing?
Always be sure to try to place it in the system first before you install it, because you can...
Bruh, he's literally going to... Dude, where are the fans? Inside! And by the way, he's about to do something even more stupid.
See, it takes up a lot of space. But in this case, no pun intended, it fits in perfectly, and we're gonna start screwing.
Dude, put in the fans! Put in the fans!
Bring it in, and so there's nothing special about this screwing in process. They're just really long screws because they go through the...
Dude, you just ruined your heatsink! You just ruined it! Dude, you screwed in the heatsink! Like, what? Bruh, those screws are meant for the fan! They're meant for the fan! You will literally have just ruined your heatsink! Because you forgot to put in the fans!
Entire frame of the cooler, and they take forever. So, next up, cables.
Like, oh, he destroyed the radiator. He effectively ruined the heatsink. He effectively ruined the heatsink. Bruh, he literally screwed in those long screws and he literally just like ruined his heatsink.
Every power supply is going to come with a big bag of Velcro cables.
No! Not all of them! Not all of them are modular! What? Bruh, there's, like, for example, I believe my power supply has, like, cables attached already. Like, and then also, by the way, like there's, like, modular, semi-modular, and then, like, you just got, like, and then it's just, like, you kind of have, like, these, like, cables already get, like, attached. To, like, for, like, the modular ones, usually you gotta, like, you know, attach the cables themselves. And, like, again, here's the issue. Why didn't he, like, attach the cables before he did the garbage that he did with the power supply? Like, what? Especially since it didn't have, again, the count. Like, if you had, like, the cables... you go. Stay there. Stay there. Why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking me? Ow. Okay. Ow. I am... Alright, here. Here, have that. Okay. Like, I don't understand this. Like, I just don't understand. Like, not every power supply will come with a big bag of cables. My God. Like the one I bought, I believe it's just like has the cables already attached and stuff like that. So like, I just can like install the power supply just pretty easily and just like have to worry about cable management and stuff like that. So yeah.
It's kind of daunting at first, so you always have to find the ones that are gonna fit. In this case, you need to match those cables.
Imagine overclocking it. Hey, be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Okay. Where'd you put your, like... There we go. Okay, so...
With the correct descriptions on the power supply. Next step is we're connecting the power supply to the motherboard with the 24-pin cable. We're just matching that cable from the motherboard, threading it through the back, and attaching the 24-pin header to the power supply so that we can have one of the connections complete. The next few additions will be for the GPU, for any specific ports that the case has, for any lighting that the case has, the CPU cooler, anything else really. We're installing the CPU, the heart of the computer or the brain, depending on how you look at it. So to do this, we're just going to remove the plastic covering that they put on the motherboard. We're just going to take this little plastic part out. We'll just toss that out of here.
No,
and now we have
don't do that, 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 don't do that. Okay, so if you want to like, so usually motherboards come with like plastic covering and stuff like that. If the motherboard's broken, they like, and like what they'll do is that like if the motherboard's not working stuff like that, usually you'll want to like keep that plastic part so like you can armate the motherboard and stuff like that, and then it can get fixed. They need that plastic. They need that plastic cover, quote unquote, if you want that motherboard to be fixed. So please always keep that, and please keep that.
Closed CPU holder, or rather slot, on the motherboard, and we're gonna use
a socket. It's a socket. It's a socket.
Use the CPU applicator. This is a special little part that not everyone may get, but this.
A CPU applicator? Are you fucking serious right now? No, you don't need that. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need that thing. Please, please, please stop. Please stop.
This motherboard that we got from ASUS definitely does have. It's called a CPU installation tool. It makes it really useful if you want to install a Core i7 hexa-core CPU. Yeah, we've got one, and it's an 8th generation chip.
That's not exclusive at all. You can get it from like at the time you can like get it from every retailer out there. So like that's not really exclusive as they're trying to make it out to be. So what are they talking about?
And it's ready to go, and it supports overclocking. So what having
you better not overclock that thing. That thing's gonna blow up faster. When the CPU, and technically he broke. Yes! Like, what the heck? Oh yeah, I hate Intel too, but like, I mean, I believe this was before like AMD kind of stepped up a little bit. But, I love the Ryzen 3700X. It's pretty good.
This little installer does for you is it's basically a brace that you can apply.
Dude, stop calling stuff a brace!
Right to the CPU. And light it up with the triangles that you'll see on the bottom left corners. And this will make it easier for us to apply it to the motherboard, and then apply thermal paste, and then apply a CPU cooler on top. And we're just going to carefully lean it down into the system and make sure that everything lines up.
Wait,
and we're going to clasp down on it, and we'll be good to go.
He took the tool and put it to the side! He took the tool and put it to the side! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
And make sure that everything lines up, and we're going to clasp down on it, and we'll be good.
Look! Look at this! He literally spent all that time trying to explain the CPU applicator thing, and he didn't need it. And the guy was like someone else editing with someone else other than him. So literally, there's no point. Literally, there was no point in that entire explanation. He didn't even use the tool. What the heck?
To go. So we're about to apply thermal paste to the CPU. Every CPU cooler actually comes with a bit of
Not every CPU cooler comes with thermal paste. Please stop.
thermal paste already neatly applied in a circle around it, but it's usually not enough. It's good.
No, usually the small amount of CPU that's thermal paste that's there is enough. Like, please don't tell me you're going. And usually if you need to like attach the thermal paste anyways and stuff like that, usually what you're going to want to do is essentially apply a pea-size drop. If you want to attach like a cooler that doesn't have thermal paste on it, and like of course CPU, and then just like bolt everything down.
Essentially PC building practice to have a little bit extra and layer it on top of the CPU. The final portion.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
Practice.
What are you doing?
What
are you doing? I've seen this so many times. Look at him. Look at what he's doing. He's literally icing a cake. He's not, dude. The temperatures that you can get off of thermal paste are not, bruh. You do not apply thermal paste like that. You don't do that. Holy shit! Holy shit! I know, Kayla. I know. It's so shit. Why would you ice a cake? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Holy shit. Like, I know, Kayla. I know. I know, my baby. I know. That is not good. That is not good.
The final portion is to add the CPU cooler to the top end of the processor. So you're going to see that.
Look at this. Look at this.
There are 4
Look at this. It looks. Look what he did. Look what he did. Want a treat? Want a treat? What did he do? What did he do? Look at this. It looks like he literally had a bird shit on his processor. Bruh.
Brackets, or rather like screws in here with brackets and holders right here. And they're going to keep the cooler raised off the processor, but it's also going to be close enough to actually physically come in contact with it, like basic.
Wait, what? Back up a bit. Back up. So it's not going to make physical contact, but it'll make close enough physical contact.
With brackets and holders right here. And they're going to keep the cooler raised off the processor, but it's also going to be close enough to actually physically come in contact with it, like basically keep.
Wait, so like, which is it? You know, after this was published, he pushed the blame on others and still won't admit to this day. Oh yeah, I know. I'm aware of that. Well, this is a tutorial of how to make a nuclear bomb. Yeah. Holy shit. Man drowned his processor with thermal compound. Bro, what kind of doo-doo is this? Oh my god.
Keep it cool. Take thumb screws like this and just
Bruh, I can't see what he's doing. What are you doing, my guy? What are you doing?
So now that our internals are done, we're going to put all the panels back on, which is the top glass, side glass, front glass, and of course the back panel where all this fun stuff is happening. So we fully built the piece.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at the cable management here! Oh my god. And this is a $2,000 budget, so there's not really much of an excuse here. Holy shit. This is the actual PC build, by the way. Look at this. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me just like see if I can get a bit of a close up here. Just like make a copy. Okay, let me just copy image address. Here it is. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, so his all-in-one water cooler has a missing screw right here. He finally got the fans up. Oh boy. His RAM is still installed incorrectly, so no dual channel support inside. He literally has the worst cable management I've ever seen. He literally has messed up everything. I'm still waiting to see how high the temperatures are with all the thermal paste he literally put onto that processor, because holy shit. Like, what is this? What is this? Is he missing like a screw for like the fan too? I don't think so. Holy shit. Oh, you think? AIO tubes are touching the GPU. No. Watch the bomb. Bruh, that's a bomb, not a PC. This is a bomb. This is a bomb.
See, everything's put together, and we got to the post screen.
Miracle, folks! Miracle! He literally got to the post screen somehow. Oh my god. How is this possible?
So what's next? Well, you need a USB flash drive with your Windows installation media on it, and of course a license key. So I plugged that up, installed Windows in a couple of minutes, installed a bunch of drivers, and now we have a fully functioning gaming PC ready to run some games. Right now I've got Arma 3 running at maximum settings, native resolution, which is 1080p HD, and it's running pretty smoothly. Like, I'm averaging 70 and 80 FPS, and this is normally like a very intensive game.
The issue with that is like the only thing that you're really rendering right now is the only thing that the processor is focusing is like along with everything being half rendered. I believe I learned this a little bit. Usually, like, since the only thing that's being focused on right now is the plane and stuff like that and where you're flying, everything else is gonna be half rendered. So that's kind of where the average is, I guess. So, but meh.
It's still doing a pretty good job. So right now I'm playing League of Legends. It's one of my...
Oh my god, he's benchmarking with League of Legends. Holy shit. Oh god. Alright. You want to know what the requirements are for League of Legends, by the way? So, let me just show you right now. I'm going to show you what the minimum requirements are. Literally a CPU that is like 2 gigabytes of RAM, a 3 gigahertz processor, usually a processor that has literally 1 core, I believe at the time, and Windows. Like, League of Legends is designed to be played anywhere, even on like the shittiest of laptops. It's designed that way. 2 gigabytes of RAM, like, come on, man, come on. Holy shit. Like, holy shit.
My favorite games. I'm actually playing against a bot, and I'm distracted, so I'm not actually doing so well.
Why are you... Okay.
But, otherwise, like, this is pretty much...
Why are you at 50 HP against... Bruh, why are you at low HP against a bot? Like, why... Like, maybe if it was, like, an online setting, maybe, but a bot? Really?
Much what you would see me do on a gaming computer. Test stuff out, and hopefully have really high frame rates like I am right now. I'm averaging 120 FPS, and that's only because I've actually locked the game to that frame rate.
Why? We're trying to benchmark games, aren't we? Like, aren't we trying to like reach those high frame rates as possible? Especially with a game like League of Legends that doesn't really need to have a high processor or high RAM or anything to run at all. Like, come on, man.
Because I can get around 300 FPS playing League on maximum settings, which is a little bit absurd, and
Okay, what?
you don't really need that, so I've locked it. Building a gaming desktop has been a great experience. I'm able to max out a lot of my favorite titles, and I'll be able to play a lot of upcoming titles like Battlefield 5 and Cyberpunk.
Oh my god. Again, why would anyone want to play Battlefield 5?
2077 without worrying too much about
Alright, Cyberpunk 2077 solid, but bad problem. I don't think that PC is going to be able to run that.
the parts I have. When ray tracing GPUs come out, for example, I'll be able to upgrade without having to buy a completely new system. And if I have a problem down the line, I can always just swap out a part and have it serviced rather than losing my whole computer. And of course now we also have a computer to test and benchmark games here at The Verge.
No. Okay, presented by Capital One. Capital One, you're my bank, by the way. You sponsored this shitty guide. Bruh. Like, seriously. Y'all are my bank, and you literally can't sponsor this video. What? Holy shit, you got a raw deal. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god. Imagine him selling this for $1,000. Bruh, I wouldn't buy the. I want to play Battlefield 5. I hear a boom. Bruh, I literally just cannot believe this. I can't believe this shit. Have you ever just like wanted... Whose son is this? Bruh, okay. Now, how about we go and see how the PC build should... Alright, so after that nauseating experience, let's go and see how it should have been made. Alright, let me get out of this, like, high zoom.
This whole program is about building that athletic foundation.
Get it, and...
Let's go!
It's fine, or if you want to spread it... Why am I even bothering to do this video after The Verge pulled their terrible PC building tutorial? Well, there are reaction videos, and then there are reaction videos. This is the latter. Welcome back to Craft Computing, everyone. As always, I'm Jeff, and I figured I'd celebrate my brand new studio the only way I know how. If you haven't guessed from the intro of this video, I'm going to be addressing the Verge PC tutorial that went live last week, and if...
Yeah, this should be a decent build, actually, because Craft Computing is actually good at what he's doing. What's going on? Hey, Fang Mythic. MSH, are you going to activate Windows? I'm probably going to, like, have that, like, thanks for $5, Mythic Ice. What's going on, man? Nothing much, just, like, reacting to bad PC builds. I don't care, I like to explore new... Battlefield 5's not that great, honestly. It's really not that great. Are you going to activate Windows? I'm going to, like, I'm probably just gonna, like, do the method that I was told about. So what I'm probably going to do is just, like, first, you know, install Windows with it, and then have, like, that shitty watermark and stuff like that, and then wait until, like, actually buy the Windows itself. So yeah.
If you haven't seen it already, sorry they pulled the video, although there have been a couple reposts of that video up on YouTube. I'm sure you can probably find it. And rather than doing just a reaction video for comedy's sake, which, by the way, some of those were freaking hilarious, I'm going to be doing more my own reaction and reactionary build, as it were. To start things off, I'm going to be building in the exact same case that the Verge did, and that's the Corsair Crystal 280X. And the reason I'm building in the exact same case is to point out how egregious that build actually was. I'm using very similar components in the exact same...
Imagine, like, you know, he's literally just, like, buying all the same parts that the Verge, like, used and stuff like that. Or, you know, probably could, like, maybe have some, like, different parts and stuff like that. And then he's gonna be like, hey, this is how you idiots should have built it. I love that so much. I really do.
Layout that he did. And I really wanted to show why what he did was so wrong, rather than just pointing and laughing saying, wow, that cable management was terrible, and wow, he really shouldn't have installed that cooler that way, and wow, that's a horrible amount of thermal paste. I'm going to show you the exact right way he should have done it. I'm going to go ahead and give you the part list for this build, but I really don't recommend following this verbatim, as the cooler and the case for this build are way overclassed, and you could easily save quite a bit of money by not going with such a high-end hardware. But I wanted to use the liquid cooler, and obviously I wanted to use the exact same case. But I've got a Gigabyte B360 Micro ATX motherboard, an Intel i3-8100 quad-core processor, a Sapphire RX 580 Pulse 8GB card, 8GB of Patriot DDR4 2800, I believe that is.
2800. Man, at the top, man, I believe like 3200 might be, I feel like 3200 is like the base right now, and just like, and now like, but there's like RAM that just like goes faster and stuff like that.
A Cooler Master CX550 power supply, and the Deepcool Castle 240 AIO. So what tools did I use to put all this together? Well, I've already got my table, that's checked off the list. If you exclude the one zip tie that I used in this machine, you could probably throw that away because it really wasn't that vital. And
by the way, like to point out, like the cable management like here, by the way, with like the Verge PC, literally could have like suffocated airflow. Like it was just like so bad. Like honestly, like even if it was bad, like some of this stuff could have literally just like suffocated airflow and all this other type of stuff, which is why you wouldn't have decent cable management. You also, like, the fact is that this had to have been some of the worst cable management I think I've seen from like a lot of PC builds, as I like keep researching it.
If you don't use zip ties, then you don't need a set of flush cutters either. So I built this entire system with this. Now this is a multi-bit driver, and I did use 2 of the bits. I used the number 2 Phillips, which is the standard for pretty much every screw in here.
Yeah, like, yeah, and at least you did not have to like go for a Swiss Army knife that hopefully had a Phillips screwdriver, you know?
And I used the number 1 Phillips, which is needed for the M.2 drive. If you don't have an M.2 drive, literally just a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. That's all you need. So I'm going to walk through my
thank God
typical order of operations for building a PC, and I'm going to point out some of the things that he did wrong, but I really don't want to harp on it because that's been done already. He actually did get one thing right though, and step 1 is go to PC Part Picker and make sure that the parts you're buying are compatible with each other. Make sure that your radiator will fit in the case, and that you have enough clearance for your graphics card, and that your power supply will fit, and that the RAM is right for your motherboard, and your CPU will fit in the motherboard socket. It really is a great resource to make sure you don't mix up something along the way. Step 2 is get your case out of the box, take all the panels off of it, and start walking through in your head what this build process is actually going to look like. Kind of plan where everything's going to go and how cables are going to run before you start screwing things in, because you're going to save yourself some time later on. And even after doing that, I still got one thing wrong on this build, and that's I put my power supply in first, which is usually a good idea, but in this case, the power supply blocks the rear access to the motherboard. And in that case, I couldn't get the bracket in for the AIO liquid cooler, so I did have to take the power supply back out, but that wasn't really that big a deal. Step 3 is your motherboard.
Yeah, and at least you didn't put the power supply at the back of the case, like the Verge did. Like, oh my God. I just don't understand, like, how this was a thing, you know? The zip ties made the Verges worse. Exactly.
Now, here's something that he got egregiously wrong. He put the motherboard into the case first, and then he put in the power supply, and then he put in the RAM, and then he put in his graphics card, and he hooked up all his headers, and he installed his fans, and then he installed his CPU. CPU is literally...
When are you going to do What If Hashirama kept the Bijou? If that thing's not going to get votes, I'm not going to do it. Like, I did a poll and saying Naruto won, and a mystery box was ahead of it. Like, if people aren't going to vote for it, then I'm not going to do another part. It's just that simple.
The first thing to go in. Number one, because it is so fragile, and especially the pins underneath that CPU, or the pins on the CPU if you use an AMD processor.
Oh, a second.
And then he installed his CPU. CPU is literally the first thing to go in.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand, like, how the CPU was not installed correctly. I'm not like correctly. I don't understand, like, how the CPU was installed first. Like, when I look at, like, a lot of PC build guides and stuff like that, and I'm probably gonna still use them just because I want to make sure I know what I'm doing and not mess anything up. They'll, like, usually with, like, every PC build guide, usually put the CPU in first and then into the motherboard, and then just, like, attach it up and stuff like that, while also hopefully not, you know, bending one of the pins. It's really crazy, like, how you just, like, how this dude just did not put the CPU in first.
One, because it is so fragile, and especially the pins underneath that CPU, or the pins on the CPU if you use an AMD processor. But it is so much easier to install when you're on an open table, rather than trying to cram your hands into a computer with components in the way and risk dropping something on those pins. It is way, way easier to install it just on the table. To install a CPU, gently push down on the lever, pull it to the side, and then pull the entire bracket towards you. Gently set your CPU down into the socket, making sure to align the notches on the socket with the notches in the CPU.
Exactly.
Then close the lid on the CPU.
Exactly. Oh my god.
CPU socket, and then put the lever back into place. The plastic lid that's on top to protect the pins will pop off when you do this. Once your CPU's in there, go ahead and put your memory in, and also install your M.2 drive if you have one while you're at it. Again, the more room the better here. Now, once I've done that, I usually open...
Hey, look! He actually installed the RAM correctly! Look at that!
...the instructions for whatever CPU cooler I'm going to use, and I walk through the installation instructions. And I find out, is it going to...
Like, one of the standoffs, like, yeah, I was... Like, he was, like, screwing the standoff, one of the, like, the SSD, like, directly into the motherboard. It's like using one of the standoffs, like, raise it slightly and just, like, you know, just make it a lot easier and stuff like that. It's just, like, weird.
It'd be easier to install this outside the case or inside the case. Is there a bracket that needs to be fixed onto the motherboard?
CPU first, then RAM, then you put in your CPU cooler before you put it in the case. Like, this is just basic information. Exactly, but...
Before it's installed, or can everything be put on in there? Walk through that process and find out what's going to be easier in your exact case. If you're using an all-in-one liquid cooler, go ahead and install the radiator into the case now. But be sure to use the proper length screws. The shorter screws are for holding the radiator to the case, while the longer screws are for holding the fans to the radiator. Next step is actually put your motherboard inside the case and go ahead and screw it down. Now, I'm not going to tell you to don't screw it down too light and don't screw it down too hard. Screw it down with just the right amount of tension with no prior knowledge on the subject and you'll be just fine. Yeah. Because those are terrible instructions.
Like, come on, like, just, like, do, like, yeah, you just, like, as long, like, you gotta do it correctly, you know?
Screws should not be hard to screw in to a computer. Everything is pre-threaded, everything should be pretty well within tolerance, so literally just screw it until the screw stops turning and don't over-tighten it. It's that simple. Step 5, oh god. Thermal paste. I'm going to start off this with a plea to the PC community at large. Please, please, stop arguing about this. There are many, many methods of doing this wrong.
Oh no. Oh no.
There's also many methods of doing this correctly. Now, I don't care what method you use, if it's the P or the line or the X or the X and 4 dots or the 3 lines, it's fine. Or if you want to spread it around with your finger.
As long as you're not trying to ice a cake.
I don't care. As long as you don't put too little on there so you're not actually making contact with the die, and as long as you don't put too much where it's oozing over the side like toothpaste, you're fine. It works. It's been tested ad nauseum. There's no reason to bicker about it anymore. Whatever works for you, works. Please, send me all your hate down below. Once your thermal paste has been properly applied, go ahead and get your CPU cooler mounted up by follow the instructions that came with it. Just make sure you follow the right set of instructions for your exact CPU type. Now would also be a great time to connect your front I/O. That's your power and reset buttons, along with your power LEDs, front panel USB, and front panel audio connections. Step 7, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and get the power supply screwed into the case and start running and plugging in the various cables. That's going to be a 24 pin for your motherboard, an 8 pin for your CPU, and then go ahead and run and let hang your graphics card, SATA drive, and any of the peripheral power supply connections you may need. Next, install any case fans you'd like to use and get them plugged into either your motherboard or a fan splitter. You can also install any SATA hard drives or SSDs at this time as well. Connect SATA power and data to them and cable manage as needed. Step 9, graphics card. Now, why did I leave the graphics card for last? Well, it's typically one of the larger components that you're going to install, and it covers up a fair bit of the motherboard, so plugging in your other components like your front I/O cables, your USB, and cable management
Oh my
can
god,
actually be
this
fairly
is just so beautiful. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. I love this guy so much. I love him. He's giving me a refresher. Oh my god.
if that goes in first. Plus, it just kind of completes the whole look when you're done. To install the graphics card, go ahead and remove any rear PCIe slots that you might have in your way. Set the graphics card down very gently into the PCI slot and it should install with really no force. You should hear a nice satisfying click when the finger grabs the end of it. Now, if you do have to force the graphics card in, you're probably doing something wrong. Pull up, make sure you're not binding on anything inside the case. Make sure it goes in nice and easy. Once it's seated securely, you can go ahead and screw that in, plug in any graphics card leads you need, and you're ready to boot. Go ahead and install the operating system of your choice, get your drivers installed, maybe run a couple of tests to make sure everything's good. Now finish up your final cable management, and then close your case. Trust me, I've had numerous components where I've had to take them back out, reseat them, go through troubleshooting steps. It's way easier before you start zip tying everything down. But like I said, on this particular system, I used one zip tie in the entire thing, and it really wasn't even necessary. And just look at it. That is a beautiful looking system and something I'd be more than proud of to showcase on my desk here. I wanted to take this video as an opportunity not so much to rag on The Verge and go line by line and tell you exactly what they did wrong, which they did a lot wrong. And if you want to see one of those videos, they're already out there. I wanted to showcase what that PC should have looked like when it was done, and that it doesn't take that much effort or planning or forethought to come out with a really good result on the other side, and that you don't need specialty tools, you just need to put things together the right way, and...
Exactly. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love you. I love you. I love you.
That's your results.
No homo. No homo.
So, I hope you learned something here. I know The Verge certainly did this week, but drop me a comment, let me know what you thought of this video. Was it useful to you?
Oh my god. Okay. Now, I'm gonna end the stream out here by showing off my specs. Alright, so first off, my first spec is an AMD Ryzen Core 7 3700X, 8-core processor, 16 threads. This is again just for like editing purposes and stuff like that. The cooler I grabbed, I believe I like grabbed a cooler here. The one I believe here was the Cooler Master Hyper 212. I probably could attach thermal paste to that. Like I could probably like attach this cooler here because I actually kind of like it a lot, but I don't know if I really need it. But I just might save it just in case. The motherboard I got was a B550. This is it. The B550 motherboard, Tomahawk. The reason for this is an AM4. So the reason for that is because I wanted to like get this motherboard literally because like it's great for upgrading purposes. Like I know the graphics card, the 3070 is coming out on the 15th. And like it also has like I'm not gonna necessarily be locked in like last gen parts and stuff like that, so I really like the idea of like grabbing this MSI Tomahawk. Memory, 32 gigabytes of RAM. This was not this one, it was the Ripjaws, so that's why I like DDR3200, which is a base. This was like I believe these were cheaper before, like they're definitely cheaper now with since they don't have LEDs, but this is what I grabbed, honestly. I only grabbed like 2.6 of RAM, and they're like 2 by 16 gigabytes, next, and for 32, so it's really nice, I guess, in terms of memory. Seagate Barracuda, for internal hard drive storage, and of course, an SSD, so I grabbed the Western Digital, where is it? what's the one? I forget which one I grabbed. It was a terabyte though. I know that for sure. Okay, where's the one I grabbed? I know it was like a terabyte. Okay, I know it's like at least 1 terabyte. So, is it not available? Maybe they're all gone. And I was like the one who grabbed something like. Oh wait, I think this is it. Western Digital SN 750. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, I think that's the one I grabbed. This was the SSD I grabbed. Very good solid state drive, is like a terabyte, and pretty good SSD overall. Graphics card. I ended up grabbing a $250 MSI Ventus, so pretty good graphics card, I guess. Case. I grabbed the NZXT H510, pretty good power supply, I guess. And the last thing I grabbed was a Corsair 80 plus bronze 650. Yes, it was this one. It was the CXM. Is there anything else I'm missing here? Because, like, maybe I'm missing the... Oh, yeah. And I guess the other thing I grabbed was a monitor, which was the Acer for, like, 1370. And, of course, some mouse... Let's see. I forget what else I grabbed. Keyboard. Oh, that's right. It was because of like, oh yeah, that's the one at the. So since a lot of the other 144 hertz monitors were kind of out of stock at the time, such as this one, I grabbed a Acer. It was, I believe it might have been, I forget which one it was. I'm just gonna, at the time I believe it's like $220 though, which I think is a decent price to pay for a monitor. Not necessarily the greatest, but it was like the only monitor available at the time, basically. So, and I wanted to build a PC very quickly, so I did end up grabbing the Acer. I'll just use this. It's like 100. And okay, so and I believe the refresh, but yeah, it's a pretty good monitor. Really good monitor. It has a 1 millisecond refresh rate, and that cost me an additional $200. And then I grabbed a mouse and some other stuff as well. Oh wait, what? Where is the 1 millisecond one that I was looking for? Oh, I think this is no, that's the 200. That's not the 1920. Where did they put it? Where did it go? Did I grab like? Are they like out of stock? Oh, I think this is it. This might be it. Yeah, I think this might be it. Okay, so it's at a lower price than I got at the time, but it doesn't matter. What's done is done, I guess. And then like I grabbed a mouse as well, a Logitech. I grabbed a Logitech mouse, and I ended up grabbing a Red Dragon keyboard. So I guess like some of the prices went down a little bit since then, but I think I got a decent price off of the peripherals and stuff like that. So I'm very happy about that. This was the Red Dragon I got, and when am I building a PC? Probably either Thursday or Friday. It depends on when I get my parts. Yeah, so around $1,500. This has probably went down a little bit because of the price of the monitor, but it doesn't matter. I got what I got, and all the parts do very well together. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I got at the end of the day. And I can't wait to build this thing pretty soon. Actually, this is my computer class a couple weeks ago. Nice, I like that. Man, I could have probably spent a couple more dollars towards the graphics card, but the problem was is that one, I knew that I was going to need I was probably going to need a budget. I needed like a budget card before the 3070s came out, because I'm trying to see how that affects the graphics card market, or also grab a 3070. So if I can grab a 3070, that's gonna be very great for me. If not, like, I can grab a graphics card for cheaper because that impact the market a bit. So yeah, I'm pretty happy though with this. It did cost me probably a couple more dollars more in sales tax, but it was really good overall. That's about it, I guess. Yeah. Alright, I think that's about it for this stream. I think I've done everything I can here. If you want to see the parts list again, I will probably post a screenshot of this. A little bit. Let me just do this real quick. Snip. I'll just use like this snipping tool. I'll just use like the snipping tool for a little bit. And then what I'll do is, okay, new. And I'll just like show a bit of an image for like all the parts that I used. So like this. And then I'll post it on my community tab. Let me just like, alright, there we go. This should be it. Okay. I think I'll do like, I don't think I'll keep the stream up, but I'm going to just like show all the parts. Like this, and then boom. Alright, so I just like snipped this, and I'm just gonna save, and then that should be about it. So those are all the components I got. Meter feet. I don't know. You're the first YouTuber to ever reply. I love you, man. No problem. I guess I designed mine that I'm getting this year. What will your next video be? Saying Naruto. That'll be coming out tomorrow because I'm waiting for some art. But that's okay. But that should be about it for this. But thank y'all for watching, for coming along for this like wild ride. I'm not gonna keep this up. And overall, this should be. I'm not gonna keep this up because again, I don't know, like copyright stuff. I don't know. Can you show the case? I will have the case. I have already shown the case here. What PC do you have? It's gonna. Oh, I'm about to build it. I think I'll show the beast and stuff like that. But I'm showing you all the parts. Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. All right, I'm gonna like head out, guys. I'm gonna build my PC in a day or two, so this should be fun. See you guys. Have a good day.